Hey everyone, today we are diving into one of the most powerful parts of the English language, adjectives. These are the words that add all the color, the detail, and the feeling to our sentences. By the time we're done here, you are going to have every tool you need to really make your own language come alive.
So, let me just start by asking you this. How do you describe your world? Seriously, think about it for a second. When you're telling a friend about a fantastic movie or a delicious meal or an incredible vacation, what words do you actually use? Well, the words that paint that picture for them, the ones that make them see exactly what you see, those are adjectives. And they are absolutely crucial for communication that connects.
Okay, so what is an adjective officially? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. That's it. It just gives us more information. So instead of just a day, you get a hot day. Instead of a car, you get a new car. Adjectives are what give us all the juicy specifics.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll nail down the basics of what an adjective is and where it goes. Then, we're going to open up what I like to call the descriptive toolbox and look at all the different types. After that, we'll learn how to compare things and we'll even tackle that tricky business of adjective order. And to finish up, we'll go over a few common mistakes to avoid so you can sound like a total pro.
All right, let's jump right in with the fundamentals. Knowing what an adjective is one thing, but knowing where to actually put it in a sentence, well, that's the key to sounding natural. And lucky for us, there are really only two simple rules to worry about.
So check this out. The most common place you'll find an adjective is right before the noun it's describing. Think a tall building. Easy enough, right? The second main spot is after what's called a linking verb. Words like is, looks, or feels. These words basically connect the subject to its description. So you can also say, the building is tall, or the apple looks red. You see that? The meaning is exactly the same. It's just a different way to structure the sentence.
Okay, now that we know where they go, let's look at the different kinds of adjectives. And hey, don't think of these as some boring grammar lesson. Think of them as different tools in your descriptive toolbox. Each one has a very specific job to do. First up, we've got descriptive adjectives. These are probably the ones you think of first. They tell us about qualities. Things like color, size, shape, or how something feels. Words like beautiful, big, and happy, they're all in this group. These are the real workhorses of description. Next in our toolbox are quantitative adjectives. Their whole job is to answer the question, how much or how many? So when you say you have 3 cats, or you need some milk, or you just don't have enough time, you're using quantitative adjectives. Simple. Then we've got demonstrative adjectives. Now these guys are super useful because they point out specific things. We're talking about this, that, these, and those. They tell us exactly which one we're talking about. This book right here, not that one over there.
Possessive adjectives, these are super straightforward. They just show who owns something. Words like my, your, her, his, and their make it crystal clear who the noun belongs to. It's not just any car, it's my car. And finally, to round out our toolbox, we have interrogative adjectives. These are your question starters. Which, what, and whose. You'll always find them right before a noun, And they're used to, you guessed it, ask a question. Okay, so you've got your toolbox all filled up. Now let's put those tools to some more advanced work. One of the biggest jobs adjectives have is helping us compare things. And thankfully, there's a simple system to get it right every time. You see, adjectives have 3 degrees of comparison. First, you've got the basic or positive form. This just describes one thing, like a tall building. Next, you have the comparative form, which, compares 2 things. This building is taller than that one. And finally, you have the superlative form. This compares 3 or more things to find the absolute top dog. This is the tallest building in the entire city.
So, how do you actually make these different forms? The rules are actually pretty easy to remember. For short adjectives, usually one syllable, you just add or est. Big, bigger, biggest. For adjectives that end in a y, like happy, you just change that y to an I before you add or est. And for longer adjectives, like beautiful, you don't add an ending. You just use more or most in front of it. See? Not so bad.
All right, let's get into something that can trip up even advanced English speakers: the correct order for adjectives. When you want to use a few adjectives to describe one thing, you can't just throw them in there randomly. Believe it or not, there's a secret, unwritten order that native speakers just kind of feel. Just listen to this sentence. A beautiful, small, old, round, red Italian wooden table. It sounds kind of crazy, right? But grammatically, it is 100% correct. If you tried to say a wooden, red, small, beautiful table, it would just sound totally wrong to a native speaker. So, what's the secret? Well, here it is, the official order. Generally, you start with your opinion, like beautiful. Then you move to physical facts, like size, age, and shape. And you end with the really objective stuff, like where it's from and what it's made of. Now, let's be real, you're almost never going to use all 8 at once. Most of the time, you'll just use 2 or 3. But this is the hierarchy they follow in the background. And that brings us to our final section. Look, knowing all the rules is fantastic, but knowing what not to do, that can be just as important. Let's go through a couple of super common mistakes so you can dodge them and make your English sound that much more polished. Okay, here's a big one. Using more with a short adjective that already has ER on the end. Saying more taller is a classic mistake. Why? Because the ER in taller already means more tall. So you're basically saying it twice. The rule is simple. If you've added ER, you don't need more. Just say, she is taller than me. And you guessed it, the exact same logic applies to superlatives. You never, ever say the most smartest. The ST ending on smartest already means the most smart. So again, you just pick one or the other. The correct way is simple. He is the smartest student. So after all that, what's the big takeaway here? It's that adjectives aren't just some boring grammar rule. They are the magic ingredients. They're what take your sentences from being just black and white on a page and turn them into full, vivid color. And that leaves me with one final question for you. With everything we've just covered, what's one thing in your world, a person, a place, maybe an experience you had, that you will describe more powerfully today? Think about it and give it a try. Thanks for joining me.